That episode of Salt Lake City was a ride, ending with Mary and Robert Jr. after the Girl Scout event, after Lisa and Angie made up, after Mary and Meredith had the fight in the art gallery. This episode was crazy. Oh my goodness. I ate so much yesterday for Thanksgiving. And even though I worked out today, humble brag, sorry, I did. Even though I did, though, I still feel so sluggish and I'm moving real slow. So I'm just going to start the show. Otherwise, I'm going to fall asleep. So let's get this going. Okay, so I know that I got intel, and a lot of people got the same intel, that the conversation with Lisa and Mary that we only have heard happened. We don't know for sure if this is real, if this is a fake leak or whatever, about like the R word, that one. I don't know if I believe that conversation happened after Meredith left Mary's house. Now that I've watched this episode, it feels like that conversation might have happened at the Girl Scout event because Mary was on 10 at that. And if what I heard and what we've heard, because a bunch of you have heard too, if what we've heard is true, that Lisa allegedly said, your son's on drugs, and then Mary responded with, like, your son's the R word. Allegedly, we really don't know if this happened for sure. But one of my sources who I trust wholeheartedly with like everything on Salt Lake City, she has got an inside tip. She heard it too. So I'm inclined to believe it. I think that happened during the Girl Scout fight because then, and it doesn't mean it's been shot chronologically, obviously, but it seems that then the conversation with Robert Jr. happens. And even though when Mary's doing her confessionals or her interviews, she at that point clearly knows what's going on with Robert. But now I'm realizing, did she really not know for sure? Did she maybe, but she seemed very surprised. And maybe it's just different hearing it kind of a thing. But it's making me look back on the season and how Mary's dealt with him. And I'm wondering if like she truly didn't, because I can recognize that type of shit because I did drugs. I mean, I was never a pill person. Well, that's not true. But like I was prescribed Klonopin. That's a whole other story. Can't even go down that road right now. But I would have been able to know, okay, oh, he's on drugs. And it seemed like Mary, due to the interview bites we were getting, Mary was aware while they were filming. But it's interesting that I'm thinking, did that conversation from Lisa, did Lisa saying your son is on drugs, did that make her go, oh, is that it? Like, because isn't that a trip? All of this is alleged, though. I kind of hate going off of like rumors, but we don't know for sure. But if we're going to go off that being truthful, that at least at some point when Lisa said, allegedly, your son is on drugs, that was the first time Mary really processed that and thought about that. And that's a trip. That is a trip. Because we watched this whole season with him, like, I guess we'll get into it more. I don't, though, I'm going to warn you, if you were looking for me to really break down that scene with Robert Jr. and Mary, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable analyzing it. I do have my own thoughts and things, but anytime I was starting to type out things I would say, I was like, oh, I just feel like this is overstepping. I don't know. It was such a private moment that they let us in on. And I have my opinions and things, but it's like, they've given us enough and I don't really know if I want to analyze it. But I do have my thoughts. Okay, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Whatever I was saying, I know I'll come back to it. Anyway, now we're going to keep going with the episode. All right, first up, Meredith goes to the art gallery to meet Mary. And her confessional is, friends don't do what she did. They don't just come to you and start picking on you. They don't do that. They pull you aside one-on-one and say, hey, this is what's going on. I would have expected Mary to reach out to me, but then I decided to be the bigger person and reached out to her. Meredith really doesn't realize what Mary, like why Mary was yelling. Like she was literally yelling at you guys to stop yelling because you were in her house. And as someone who would probably be terrified of Mary, if I was yelling in her home and she was yelling at me to stop, I would have shut up. But neither of them would. I think I feel like Angie maybe thought Mary was going to keep going and like support her in her attack of Meredith. But then Meredith was expecting Mary just to be addressing Angie, since in her mind, Angie's the only problem. But to be fair, Angie was literally getting up and yelling like, you're miserable. She didn't say pathetic, but like pretty aggressive, like mean language, you know? And so Meredith was expecting Mary to tell Angie to go or whatever. And so when Meredith clocked in, just as Mary was saying, get out of my house, that's all she heard. She won't listen to Mary saying, I was yelling at both of you to get out. Well, I mean, okay. It's okay, Meredith. So her saying they would pull you aside one-on-one and say, hey, what's going on? She just wanted you to stop yelling. That's it. So there was no reason to pull. Meredith is like, I think she was like slightly blacked out at that point. It's all a little hazy. She's not 100% sure how it happened. All she remembers is Mary was kicking me out of her home and I left. I will, thank you. Okay, so while Meredith is waiting, they cut over to Mary's and she's just calling for Robert Jr. And I really didn't know where they were going with this because she was like about to knocking on his door and like yelling for him. And I was like, oh my God, wait, are we about to see him? Like, where are we going? But nothing. It was just like it's 40 minutes later and Meredith is still waiting. I was glad that I did not know where that was going. I really didn't. So Meredith is now FaceTiming her children. And Brooks goes, why are you calling me? I'm kind of irritated, you guys. I text Mary and got no response, so I thought maybe something bigger is going on. I'll invite her to the gallery. She's going to be an hour late, it looks like. She's still not here. And then Brooks actually shocks me. He's like, well, maybe this is sort of proof that you're right, like something bigger is going on. And Meredith says, there's only so much I can accept. And then she goes, I'm going to focus on the photography. I'll talk to you later. They all talk in that same voice that like we all kind of like do a little bit of like Brooks is the worst with the vocal fry. He's like, yeah, Dad. I don't know what that was. Sorry. All right. Then when Mary arrives, Meredith heard the door. She knows Mary has walked in. Meredith pretends to just stay looking away from the door, no matter how much it kills her. She's like, nope. Mary's not like, Meredith was expecting Mary to walk in like, I'm so sorry I'm late. There's no mention of it whatsoever. So eventually Meredith has to drop being the more mad one or whatever, and has to turn around and be like, hi, Mary, how are you? And then she's expecting Mary to say, I'm sorry I'm late, but she doesn't. She just says, I'm okay. How are you? I'm good. Is everything okay? Mary, in terms of Meredith is not getting what I would expect to. And Mary, by the way, Mary's reason for being an hour late is simply she lives an hour away from me, so it's going to take an hour for me to get there. Yeah, I know. Like that. Like if you agreed to go there, then yeah. So if someone invites me somewhere that I know is going to take me an hour, I then give myself an hour to get there on time. She keeps saying it like that. She lives an hour away, so I'm going to be an hour late because I will leave when I'm expected to be there and then start driving. it is rude. It's fucking rude, period. Like, Mary would not tolerate it. As Meredith points out, she gets mad when Brittany's late, and then she's an hour late for me. But so again, Meredith not getting what she wants. And so Mary's like, in terms of what? Am I okay? Life, you? Oh, yeah, a little bothered, but I'm good. No, you're not getting it, Meredith. So then Meredith goes into like a sinister almost place here. I was concerned after I left the other day. You seemed a little out of character. So, and Mary's like, you did or I did? I mean, I thought you did, and I probably did as well. I'm like, oh, she had to catch herself. Meredith was like, I did storm out of the house. Okay. And Mary says, and why would you think I did when I invited you to my house? And I've seen you in many of people's homes, and I've never seen you walk out of anyone else's home since I've known you. So what's happening with Mary is that Mary is unable to understand that Meredith was confused, I guess, and truly had no idea that you were yelling at them just to stop yelling for a while. Like, Mary was yelling for a while, stop, 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 over and over, and they just wouldn't. And so Mary really is taking Meredith leaving personal because she's missing the step where, like, Meredith didn't know, nor does she care. Why Mary told her to get out of that. Why Mary even said the words, get out of my house. So Mary is, it's so simple for both of them. For both of them, they're being both very stubborn. Both of them want to be more slighted for like etiquette-y type reasons too. You know, and so Meredith says, I no longer felt welcome in your home. And I'm not going to stay anywhere where I don't feel welcome. You know, I don't think you would either. That was, I'm telling you, it was sinister. She pursed the most pursed lip smile. I can't even do it. And I think that was a weird tactic because I couldn't tell if she is mad at Mary or I don't know what energy she was trying to give off. But it was a weird energy for Mary to be up against. Mary's like, I don't do this. I don't do this like weird sinister thing that you're doing. Mary's, I would not do that to you. That's not friendship. That's not a healthy friendship. Meredith, well, I don't think it's a healthy friendship because you apparently have been harboring some hostility towards me for quite some time. Again. It was just so that you would stop yelling in her house. That's it. That's it, Meredith. But then now Mary, well, clearly you have too. And now as soon as Mary said, like, as soon as this conversation started, I was like, Mary is in no way going to meet Meredith at the energy Meredith wants to be met at, and vice versa. So now I see how this happened. This feud. It really is so simple and so silly, but now they're both like the most offended. Both of them are, you know. Meredith goes, Angie was coming after me, and you've told me repeatedly you would always stand up for me, and instead you jumped on the bandwagon. And I was like, why am I here? You can't say that to Mary Cosby. First of all, I don't jump on bandwagons. I was like, you had to see that coming, Meredith. What you did, I feel like you severed our friendship. That one like stung me. I'm like, oh, severed? Oh, that was harsh. You severed it. And then she goes, Mary, you're not always a victim. You do things, you portray yourself as a victim. It's always somebody doing something to you. As if I don't ever take up for you. Fuck. Meredith, I came here. I still extended the olive branch of inviting you here in hopes that we could resolve, and you showed up an hour late. That's it. Mary, okay, Meredith, have a good day. Okay. Meredith, this is funny. You used me for 3 years. I got the memo. That is a funny thing to say to Mary, but in Meredith's, like, kind of skewed perception, maybe I could see her being like, oh, now that she has Angie, she doesn't need me, the only one who ever stood up for Mary, like that type of thing. But Mary has no idea like what she would have used Meredith for. Because that's not how Mary operates. I really genuinely don't think Mary operates in that way. She would never, she'll be in the middle of fighting with somebody and not like for example, Meredith and Mary are fighting, and then Mary in the after show not defends Meredith, but won't let Angie off the hook for trying to be like, the hearing aid comment wasn't that bad. And Mary's like, no, like that wasn't good. That if you put yourself in that position, you would be upset too. And we'll get to the after show later. But like Mary doesn't choose a side and stay on that side regardless. She'll call you out. So she doesn't like use people. She's like, for what? Literally, Mary's like, for what? If you are shopping for the man in your life, whether that be your bestie or your boyfriend or your husband, I got a great gift idea that they'll actually use. The Chairman Pro electric foil shaver from Manscaped. See, the Chairman Pro has that flex adjust technology, so the blades and the pivoting head adjust to every curve of the face. It's nice and gentle on the neck, even safe to use below the belt. And the Chairman Pro has not one, but two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. You got the skin-safe 4-blade foil for when he wants these smooth as a baby's bottom type of thing. But then they also have this skin-safe stubble trimmer for when he wants to keep a little stubble but just clean it up. And the Chairman Pro is also waterproof. That's a major game changer. A lot of men prefer to shave in the shower. And you get up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge. So they have plenty of time to go from head to toe with that thing. Gift your man the ultimate grooming experience by Manscaped and get him the Chairman Pro package for the holidays. It's a thoughtful and practical gift that he'll actually use and love. Get 25% off plus free shipping with the code SHESPEAKS at manscaped.com. That's 25% off plus free shipping with the code SHESPEAKS at manscaped.com. The number one beauty skin tip: hydration. And Oak Essentials Dew Body Oil is a treat. Oak Essentials was founded in 2021 by Jenny Kane. The Dew Body Oil has this great blend of skin soothing oils. So it's fast absorbing, but it's really intense moisture. I use that all along my décolletage, which everybody needs to be hyper moisturizing, not just your neck, your chest. And if you're stuck on holiday gifting, you cannot go wrong with the body routine. It's Oak Essentials Complete Everything Shower Kit, including Awaken Body Wash, Perfecting Body Scrub, Dew Body Oil, Luminous Body Lotion, and Moisture-Rich Body Balm. Who wouldn't love that? This holiday season, treat yourself and your loved ones to spa-quality skincare essentials that deliver a moisture-rich glow. My followers will get 15% off their first order when you use code SHESPEAKS15 at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at OAKESSENTIALS.com. Promo code SHESPEAKS15. Get your best radiant skin this season with Oak Essentials. Okay, next up, Angie and Lisa meet up with their kids and go to this like cool aquarium type of, I don't know, it was cool, but there were snakes and I am pretty afraid of snakes. But okay, after they do their cute little activities, Lisa and Angie send the kids away and then they talk. This conversation on like, I don't generally like taking sides in feuds generally, because I like to see both sides, but and I know people are going to be like, "Oh, you're just a Lisa Barlow stan." Well, maybe not everybody, but I know I'm going to hear that. But I feel like Lisa has been a good friend to Angie on the show. She's defended Angie on the show. And I don't really know exactly what happened between Lisa and Angie that caused this rift to begin with. But Lisa clearly doesn't know either. And it was confusing to me when Angie first she acted like she's like, tell me what I did wrong. And I'm like, you told Whitney what she said. That's it. It's so simple. Like, you went to her and told her that's like, it's so annoying having to keep explaining it. And then even in the after show, Angie's like, and Lisa said that publicly, so she can't be mad at me for what I said to Whitney. It's like, no, it's not the same thing. It just isn't. It's just not. And it feels like Angie doesn't want to take any accountability. And so I'm coming up real Team Barlow on this one. I think I still like Angie, but I'm kind of getting this episode put her in a weird light for me where I don't know if I even like her right now. I've been on the fence with her all season and trying to just enjoy her. But when she said, like, Lisa starts crying and she's like, I just wish you could have my back. Like, I don't need someone to fight my battles for me, but I've done it for you. And I just would hope it'd be reciprocated. And you're listening to Whitney, it feels like, but Angie's like, no, I'm not. And Lisa says, well, it's not like you're coming to me and hearing my side and like comforting me at all. And Angie does apologize, I guess, for that part of it. But then she says, I just want to tell you something, though. Due to my childhood and growing up with my mom, I shut down and I just get really quiet when you get activated. Like, I need you to treat me better, because it's basically saying she's triggered. But I find that Angie has actually been quite outspoken in situations. She got up and like kicked the chair behind her, and has said a lot of like, she got up and was yelling in Meredith's face, like, you're miserable. She gets very activated and it says some shit that's kind of crazy. We see it at the Girl Scout event when she starts getting involved and she gets called out, like, and then the way Angie makes up with Lisa, I feel like Angie didn't tell Whitney how much she made up with Lisa. I feel like Angie does have a hard time standing in what she believes. And I think that's what I'm picking up on. I feel like when she brought up how she was raised and how she shuts down, I'm like, okay, you almost had me, but you don't shut down. You do, which is good. You communicate maybe in an angry way, but they all do. I'm not taking that away from her. But like, that's whatever. But I don't understand what Lisa did to Angie, because Angie went and told Whitney what Lisa said, and it was like, whoa, oh, that's what's going to happen now? You're going to go tell Whitney things I say? Okay, noted. This is a different relationship. And Angie's like, what'd I do, Lisa? You're just mad I'm not doing everything you want me to do. No, I just don't want you to go. Because like, Angie's like, I try to prove that I'm a good friend. And Lisa's like, I don't need you to prove it. Like, literally, why can't you just admit you fucked up? You shouldn't have done that. And if you really didn't want it to cause a huge problem between you and Lisa, then like, why not keep checking in? But then it was like, well, Lisa then yelled at me, so now I'm mad at Lisa. But I'm like, for what though? Like, I'm still confused about what you're mad at Lisa for, other than just like kind of picking up where Whitney wants you to pick up, it feels. So I'm Team Barlow on this one. I am. But okay, now it's time for the Girl Scout event, and there's going to be even more analysis here. Everyone is driving in, and Bronwyn, Lisa, and Meredith are in a car. Lisa talks about, they're talking about sleepaway camp, and Lisa's like, I didn't like it because I didn't like being away from my parents, but Meredith loved it. And she goes, yeah, camp is actually like a really good place, like meet your friends for life and like who you're going to do business with. And thank you, Meredith, for finding it funny and going, I love that Lisa's thinking about business partners at 8 years old. It's true, though. It's like, Lisa, you got to just appreciate it. But Bronwyn drops the bomb in the car. And mind you, she is with Lisa and Meredith. I don't know if Bronwyn is being messy on purpose or if she really thinks that all of these women want to be called out for hypocrisy. I think that's a good newbie quality, a good newbie trait. Like, you guys all want to be like honest and fair, right? No, Bronwyn, no. Definitely not Whitney. Whitney doesn't like to be honest and fair, no. But she likes to say she's the most honest and fair one and talk about her feelings and do all that. So it appears like that's what's happening, but it's not. Okay, girl. No, they do not want to be called out. They do not want to be called out for that at all. So she's like, I'm surprised, Bronwyn, I'm surprised that Whitney and Heather are throwing this together. Like, I know they're cousins, but I mean, Whitney was saying some stuff. And like, that is, I'm just a little surprised. And they're like, what? Lisa's like, no way. Meanwhile, Mary and Angie are writing together. And Angie's really invested in Mary being mad at Meredith. And she's really what is it? Fanning the flame, making it real, because she's like, yeah, and she left and took her parting gift. I mean, God, and like really riling up Mary. But then Mary goes, well, Meredith is self-absorbed. She's a lot like Lisa. Okay, I get it now. All right, so then Angie and Mary don't even arrive on time. They also arrive an hour late, to which Meredith is like, oh, I guess an hour late is the new norm, or whatever she says. It is rude, though. It is. I hate people who are late and don't feel bad at all. And again, their reason for it was the distance. And I'm like, again, everyone had to drive a distance, so I don't like that. That's not my favorite. Lisa calls out Brittany for having Jared in her stories. And how Jared's pulling all the tricks, even pulling in Donnie Osmond. And then Bronwyn says something like, oh, she's just getting as close as she can or whatever. And then Brittany goes, I'm not a fame whore. Ooh. Is that really why? I feel like that's got to be part of what the attraction is to Jared, right? That's because he's got like there's like a star appeal or something. No. Dude, Heather broke down soaking, and I actually didn't realize it was real. I thought all of it was a myth, like the jumping on the bed. I thought all of it, but Heather says, nope, the soaking is very real. And that is so insane. It is so crazy to me that would be allowed. How is that not just sex? It's like you didn't orgasm, you didn't move, so you just, it's so insane. That is just absurd. Just absurd. I can't. LOL. Mary goes, Heather, I'm bored. Respect. So they do this potato sack race. I'm like with Lisa. I've not even had children, and I feel like I would be peeing my pants too if I had to hop up and down. And like they told me that there was a hole in the ground for me to pee in, I would definitely be holding in pee. I also always have to pee because I drink so much freaking water. So I couldn't do it either. Okay, they're done with that, and they sit and they start eating. Heather asks them to share their favorite stories from camp. And after Brittany shares hers, Angie's like, I'm going to pick a little fight here. She goes, so are you a practicing Mormon still, or was that just from your childhood? And Brittany's like, no, I'm practicing. And then she goes, Angie, I was just a little taken aback, when you called me out for bringing the wine, and here you are drinking. And this kind of goes back and forth a little bit. And then Mary comes in and goes, it's two-faced. It's a two-face. It's a two-face. It's a classic two-face. And then for some reason, Meredith and Lisa defend Brittany. And they're like, I don't know if it's like, well, Meredith is like, it wasn't meant to shame. It was just, those are her feelings. And she was just sharing. And then Mary goes, how about we just go back to manners? Like, Meredith, you walking out of my house was very rude and offensive. I was like, that really didn't connect from what they were talking about. From like, Angie brought over wine and was asking Brittany why she decided to call her out for bringing the wine when she drinks. And Mary goes, why don't we just go back to manners? Like, Meredith, you walking out of my house. She just wanted to bring it up. And but then Brittany actually goes, oh, and you asking people to leave? And Mary goes, I'm not talking to you. Shut up. And the way she her hand motion there, it was, I don't know, like she did something. Brittany was just like, whoa. And Heather just holds her hand like it's a lot, I know. It was so like her hand had power. Shut up. Shut up. And then Meredith goes, "That's not manners." That's not manners. No. And Mary, I do know manners and I do know etiquette. And you walking out of my house. And then Meredith goes, "You asked me to leave and I was upset. So I will leave." And then Mary's like, "I was talking to the both of you," which at this point should be explaining it. You know, like Meredith, she's so stubborn. Meredith is that like, I swear she doesn't totally remember how it got to the point of Mary saying, "Get out of my house." Like that's all she like clocked in on and like left crying. It's like that she lived. Never mind. I can't say it again. I can't repeat myself again. But then Angie steps in. And why are you fighting this battle? You already have an issue with Meredith. Angie loves that Mary and Meredith are fighting. And she's like, "You two have a history. I mean, that was wrong. You not only walked out, you took the fucking parting gift. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't take I don't even know what she said, a yadro or yadro or whatever on your way out. What is that? I feel so stupid. What is that? Should I know? I should know, right? I don't know. I have no idea what that is. But like Angie, what are you like? And that, by the way, Angie clearly rehearsed that line. "I'm surprised you didn't take a Yadro on your way out." Like she kind of practiced it in the car. She said something like, "I'm surprised you didn't take a Versace," or something like that, right? Maybe that is whatever. But so Angie like kind of practiced that. And Angie's very messy, but it seems like most of the audience doesn't pick up on it. It seems like the audience like doesn't see what she does and only sees like what the person reacting to her does and like that. So like Angie doesn't need to step in. And also maybe even Mary, if she's playing by her own rules, could be like, "Angie, I got this." Excuse me. But Meredith like doesn't really say much. She's like, "If you want the notebook back, I am happy to give it to you if you don't want me to have it. I grabbed my stuff and it was there." And Mary goes, "You don't want to address it? You think you were right for doing that? We'll just leave it like that." And Whitney, out of nowhere, goes, "Well, yeah, Meredith is a grudge holder." And then she goes, "Why? She's playing the fucking Lisa game is what's happening." How did you end up pulling Lisa into this? Like, you want to fight with Lisa so bad. What is Lisa doing? What Lisa game? It was like such a reach to somehow get Lisa involved. And Lisa annoys me when she goes, "Don't lie." I can't, she keeps saying it over and over. And I'm like, you need a new line. Don't lie. Don't lie. Ugh. I need you to get a new one. I just really do. Because also, lie about what? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know what she means, but like, I'm getting tired of it. But I'm still, anyway. And then she goes, "Heather, why don't you ask Bronwyn what she says about you? You lie so badly. You lie so badly." "What did I say about Heather?" Bronwyn is not scared. She at least doesn't appear to be. She had to have known that was going to get brought up. That's why she brought it up in the car, right? And Bronwyn's like, "I was a little surprised you guys were doing the event together today." "Based off of what?" Your words. Your words. And then Heather has to ask, "What does Whitney say about me?" And Bronwyn says, "She thinks you don't have her back because you'd rather be friends with Lisa." And then Whitney's like, "I'll tell you exactly what I said. I said, you trying to stay good with Lisa when Angie and I had problems with her at the time. That was causing a little bit of strain on our relationship." Okay, thank you, Whitney. But Heather is it's weird how quick she is to defend Whitney because she's really wary of Bronwyn. Like it seemed like you had made an alliance with Whitney and like you and Whitney were very close. And now you're trying to like out her for something. And so Heather's like, I mean, those are her feelings. I don't think, it's deeply offensive. It's just, those are her feelings. And Angie then goes, "That's like when you said, 'Can anyone ever really be friends with Lisa?' You said that on that walk." And I was like, no, she literally didn't. This is so embarrassing, Angie. The walk, I mean, unless they cut a bunch of stuff, but the walk We saw Bronwyn say, I don't know that, Lisa. And we saw you say a lot. I got to rewatch the scene. They only showed a little tiny bit of it, but Angie like sits down and is like, it's like she needs you to do exactly. She talked a lot about Lisa. She just did. And so Bronwyn's like, that's not true. You told me that I'll eventually see that Lisa has fucked you both over. It's going to happen to me. And I said, I haven't seen that, Lisa. And Angie goes, it wasn't about that. I said, fucked me over. I said, Lisa fucked me over. Borrow Meredith's hearing aids, turn them up, and hear me one more time. I hate that my first instinct was, oh, that's funny. Because when Meredith started being offended, I was like, yeah, I guess that wasn't good. That was in poor taste. Check yourself, Emily. Because I should probably get hearing aids. My hearing is really bad. And Meredith in the after show talks about how the reason why she wanted to talk about getting her hearing aids on the show is because there's a stigma around it. And there is. And people are embarrassed. I know people who are older than me with much more hearing loss who are ashamed. And I was like, yeah, I'm younger than you and I'm ashamed. Like, so it's true. And then what did Meredith say? One of the lines in the after show was, I don't feel anyone should feel that way who struggles with any of their senses. Sorry. She's right, though. But it's just funny. I hate it. I'm sorry. It is funny. It's Meredith getting offended about her hearing aids like this. It's just, but she has a reason to. She does. She has a reason to. Even if my bank account doesn't agree, I love giving gifts. It actually is my favorite part of the holiday season. Okay, no, that's not true. The decorating's my favorite, but close second is gift giving. If you are looking to give someone a little piece of luxury, classic, elegant, timeless luxury, then Jenny Kane is your destination. Nobody does the holidays like Jenny Kane. They're known for their luxe sweaters, essential candles, and really cozy throws. They make the perfect gift. The cashmere Jackie sweater just landed, and it is nothing short of incredible. You can button it up, wear it as a turtleneck, or unbuttoned for a fresh take on a classic crew neck. It's a must. They even just dropped their holiday gift guide. So you can shop Jenny's Edit, favorites under $250, or plenty of other gift-giving categories. And don't forget about their incredible rewards program, where you can earn up to 10% back with every purchase, and joining is completely free. Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, Jenny Kane. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code SHESPEAKS at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at JENNIKAYNE.com, promo code SHESPEAKS. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Hello, She's Speaking listeners. You know, for a lot of us, our hair is very important. And Lola V, which is Jennifer Aniston's award-winning hair care line, is incredible for saving your hair from the past and the future. Let me just say something. I've had major hair shedding, major hair loss, and I'm still recovering from it. So every strand of hair on my head must be as healthy as possible. And thanks to Lola V, it is. They are these little healthy strands of hair that are left in my head. The Exfoliate and Detox shampoo changed my hair in one use. And I'm not just saying that, okay? I would never lie about something this important. Lola V is powered by their naturally derived peptide bond builder, known as B-Pro3 bond technology. It's derived from chia seeds, and it's clinically proven to prevent, protect, and repair signs of aging and damage on the hair. So it combats damage right where it starts, and then it guards against dryness and breakage while delivering high performance results. And if we're talking gifts, the Ultimate Care Kit is a great idea. This collection features Jen's favorites, the Restorative Shampoo and Conditioner and the Allure Best of Beauty winning Glossing Detangler. These 3 products are Jen's essentials for visibly healthy, shiny hair, and with the kit, you'll save over 25%. The restorative shampoo and conditioner work together to strengthen hair with every wash, providing a remarkable 77% reduction in breakage after just one use. The Glossing Detangler is the ultimate multitasker. It's a detangler, a heat protectant, a frizz fighter, a shine enhancer, and a hydrator all in one. So you can solve all your hair problems in just a few spritzes. Or it's a great stocking stuffer. Unlock Jennifer Aniston approved hair at lolav.com and celebrate the holidays with stronger, healthier hair. As our loyal listeners, you'll get an exclusive 15% off your entire order when you use code SheSpeaks15 at checkout. That's 15% off your order at LOLAVIE.com with promo code SheSpeaks15. Please note you can only use one promo code per order and discounts can't be combined. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Your hair will thank you. But Meredith is sitting next to Whitney and she's going, wow, we make fun of impairments now. Wow. And I know Whitney, who's already mad at Meredith, went and talked to Angie like, oh my God, and it was so pathetic. She was like upset that you said that. And so when Angie goes into the after show, she is going to assume, or she assumes that Mary feels the same way and was expecting to have the same type of banter about it that she was clearly having with Whitney, or at least had a few times with Whitney. And so she's like, I mean, the hearing aids comment, like, was it funny? Like, was it bad? Kind of. And Mary's like, no, it wasn't good. And Angie, like, cannot take ownership of it. And Mary's like, just admit it. Just take accountability. And if you watch it, because I've watched it like way too many times, Angie doesn't. She's like, this is why I love Mary. She holds me accountable. I'm like, but you still haven't admitted that it was really wrong. You shouldn't have done it. She's like, maybe I shouldn't have done it. No, you shouldn't have done it. And I see a little hint of Mary being disappointed in Angie. Like, no, you should just take ownership for that. But anyway, back to this scene because it starts to ramp up and get real crazy. Bronwyn says, this is what was said. They said, you have repeatedly come for people and I would see. And I said, I don't think I will see. And Lisa goes, you won't see that. You're lying right now. Don't lie. Drink every time she says it. And Mary, out of nowhere, Mary comes in. But it's true. What? And Lisa, Mary, you're not around me. Don't make judgment. Don't judge me because I don't judge you. And Mary goes, you're just a game. Lisa, I'm a game? You don't know me. Mary, and you do mess with people. You talk behind people's back all the time. Who does I don't even, that was weird. I'm like, does she talk to you? Like, how do you know? She goes, you're the fakest person I think I've ever seen in my life. And right now, as I was watching it, I was like, oh, it was this moment I went, oh, this is like, she's stressed and it's fully just coming out. Like, however she can get it out. Because this was not Mary's best, strongest showing in a verbal war. You know, Mary can shut it down, but this was about something else. And it just kind of, she was kind of Mary was a little bit of a mess in this. Mary says, everything that comes out of your mouth is a lie. Oh, I have a Milan specialist. I really did not think that this would matter to Mary, of all people. But she's like, oh, you have a Milan specialist. And Lisa's like, I do. Do you need to call them? What's her name? And Lisa's like, Danny. Her name is Danny. Oh, her name is Danny. And what stores does she go to? What? Are you trying to say that Lisa's lying about it? So Lisa goes, "Oh my God, you're upset that I have the same Fendi jumpsuit. And I got mine from Fendi and I didn't have to get it off the rack." But then Mary goes, "I don't care about that stuff. You do." I'm like, girl. And then she goes, "You wore my outfit." Oh, I was like, I didn't think this would upset Mary so much, but like it does. And then she's telling Lisa that she cares about the thing that clearly like Mary cares about. I really did not see this coming. I thought this was just some silliness, but like Mary is not kidding. She's like, "You copied me, you copycatter." What? You copycatter? Lisa, "No, Mary, I was at the show." Mary, "Be original. Girl, bye. You're a hot mess. Get your hot mess together." I don't know if that applies. And then Lisa gets to like flex. You weren't at the show. I was front row by Kim Kardashian and Sarah Jessica Parker. What the fuck? And Mary, "I don't know how anyone is friends with you. Meredith is crazy. You said she slept with half of New York and she's the biggest whore. Girl, bye. You're a hot mess. Get your hot mess together." I'm like, oh, don't repeat. But then she goes, "And get your hot mess together too," and looks at Meredith. What is happening? Lisa goes, "Mary, formulate your own opinion on your own brain. Don't like use other people to create your opinion." And then Mary goes, "Yeah, and you guys go jump in that lake over there. That's what you do." What the fuck is this? Lisa goes, "This doesn't mean anything to me. Keep talking. You keep talking. No, you keep talking. No, you keep talking." You can't shut me up. You can't shut me up. I like when Mary does that. Didn't she do it earlier in the season? You can't shut me up. Or did she? Oh, she did it to Brittany. Shut me up at the ski thing. I want to revisit that scene. That scene was funny. Okay, hold on. I lost my place. "Keep talking, Mary, so everyone can see what a fucking," and then I don't know what she was going to say, but then you just hear Mary go, "Dingbat." Okay. I'm like, did Lisa say something? But in Mary's confessional, she goes, "I don't have time for this. I don't have time for people starting fights with me and making me really angry when I'm already, on edge." I'm like, okay, Mary, for the record, I know you're going through it and that's totally fine. But Lisa genuinely didn't start this with you. You fully inserted yourself into this completely. Lisa was like, what? I didn't even know you were paying attention. So that's not what happened at all. Okay, then Whitney's like, "Everyone take a breath and then speak clearly and one at a time." Meredith, "I find making fun of any disability, whether it's my hearing, to be wrong, and I find it highly offensive. Period." And Angie goes, "I wasn't talking about your hearing. You said Meredith's hearing aid. That's me." It's not funny. It is in poor taste, Angie. And then Bronwyn is coming up because like so many things have happened in this conversation. Bronwyn and Angie have gone after. So then Bronwyn, back to her. She's like, "Everyone wants to be all over me all the time for what I said." Angie's like, "Nobody's all over you." Well, like kind of. Well, at least Heather was. "There's a ton of discussion about whether or not I'm truthful. Handle it when I said what you said, Angie." Angie, though, she's like, "Everybody shut the fuck up except Lisa and Mary, and you should shut the fuck up too because this has nothing to do with you." Okay, Angie, my word. And I feel like this is where the conversation that we're never going to see, the alleged conversation, possibly happened with Mary and Lisa, because this makes more sense to me here. Because everyone's leaving. Bronwyn's walking away. Meredith's walking away. Does not end well. We don't really see the total conclusion. And I feel like that is maybe right in here because Mary was so heated, because next up at the Shabbat dinner, Meredith's Shabbat dinner, I'll get into what Todd said in a second, but they talk about the day, and Lisa's like, did anyone enjoy that yesterday? That was not, Mary crossed a line yesterday, she says. Mary crossed a line. And Meredith is very melancholy about the Mary of it all, but she does say that this behavior isn't in character, and it makes me wonder if something bigger is really going on. And then Brittany is like, yeah, guys, we need to give Mary some grace maybe, because maybe she does have something going on. And then they cut around, and Heather has her hands over her face, kind of like she doesn't want to, like, she's just so over the top with it. And like Meredith looks really whatever. And then Lisa's got a look on her face. It just is making me feel like something was said there, and that's maybe what they're referring to. I don't know. I'm reading into it, I know. But it feels like that conversation might have happened then, as opposed to after the Bangs left Mary's house. But okay, now let's talk about what Todd said. Well, first, Lisa talks about how she totally disrespected any boundaries John had around finding out about his heritage and his lineage, and just went after his biological family. And when she's talking about it in the after show, she tells more of the details of what happened at the dinner that John went to with his biological mom, not biological father, but her husband. And apparently at that dinner, this husband was like, "You're just a bastard," and was just terrible. And John was like, "What the fuck? Why am I even here?" And Lisa admits it caused a strain in their marriage because he didn't want it to be looked into. And then Lisa looked into it and reached out to these people and like traumatized him. So there's that story. But because they're talking about like ancestry, whatever, Todd then says, yeah, ancestry is interesting. When Bronwyn and I first started dating, I had the NSA do a background check on her. And you can tell Bronwyn looks uncomfortable. Bronwyn's like, yep, sure did. And, I told him no need to do that. It's all out there or something. And so they talk a little bit then about the camping thing. And Bronwyn's like, Angie's upset because I was saying some things that she didn't want you and Heather to hear. And Heather is very wary. And she's like, why are you turning on them now? And Bronwyn says, I'm not I'm just trying to like follow along with what's happening in this group. And I probably play a part. I can be a snarky, and they bleep it. I'm assuming she said cunt. I'm assuming. And Todd then goes, don't say that. And you just see Bronwyn's whole body like tense up, but she has to keep going. She has to keep proceeding the conversation as if nothing happened. And it's like, oh, well, a little bit. Put a pin in that. We still have so many episodes. But yeah, then they get into Meredith. Meredith's feeling on Mary and that whole thing that I already went over. And then after that, we get the scene with Mary and Robert. And it was hard. It was hard to watch. I really feel like Mary did not know that this was drugs. She was shocked. She was 16 when he started. I can't remember how old he is now. But that's such a tough age to start. And it was pills. He was mixing Xanax with cocaine, which is like, oh, you all literally could have died. Cardiac arrest. Boom. No joke. So it was scary. And then he was doing like 30 milligram oxys. Like, I don't even know. He said a real high number. So, and then he talked about other mental health things. And like I said, I just don't really want to analyze this scene so much because it was very personal and very heavy. And according to Mary and Andy Cohen had a chat, and Andy said that Mary wants us to know that Robert is doing fine now. So I'm really looking forward. I actually kind of hope now, even though I think Robert Sr. is not the one, I would be interested if he's willing to get mic'd up, if he's willing to talk about that. Because when Mary describes how Robert Jr. was like their golden child, like got straight A's and all this stuff, that it's interesting then that they have to face this, right? And like clearly they weren't facing it. And maybe it was naivete. Like clearly Mary hasn't been doing drugs. Clearly. Mary is such like a beacon of purity in her body. I can't see her doing drugs. So rough, brutal stuff, but we will obviously be hearing more about it. So we'll pick up on that later. The after show had a couple little gems in it. Like I said, the discussion about Angie's joke with the hearing aids, that is brought up. But the big thing I wanted to focus on in the after show is Mary isn't following like the three of them, Mary, Whitney, and Lisa. Nope. Mary, Whitney, and Angie. Duh. They have clearly all been talking and having conversations because they've both brought up the hot mic incident from seasons ago, which is kind of specific to bring up. It just sort of proves like, oh, you guys have all been chatting and sharing stories. Like you've all now brought that very thing up this season. So when they get into the after show and Mary is saying things about Whitney, like Whitney talks about people too. Whitney doesn't want you to like anyone she doesn't like too. And Angie's really thrown off. And Lisa on that, I know I posted the episode where I posted all my social media content. So this might be repetitive if you listened to that. But Lisa was on the Bravo Fan Fest, Watch What Happens Live, one of those episodes, and said that her and Mary are good. And they had like a 2-hour conversation the other day. So I'm thinking that Mary will realize that Whitney is the messy problem because she did completely lie. And like, that's a fact. They're going to talk about it at the reunion, I know. And Angie, I'm sorry, hold on. Mary will realize that Whitney is the problem. She's made up, or is at least on good terms, good terms with Lisa. I could see Mary turning on Whitney and being friends with Lisa. And then Angie, by the way, even though in the after show she's very committed to Whitney, Angie liked my TikTok where I talk about how the reason Meredith is mad at Sean and the reason there's any issue there is because of Whitney, and that Meredith didn't technically say Sean sleeps with men. Technically, she just said the rumors, and that's all she alluded to something. And I know I've repeated myself, but I'll say it one more time. I don't think Meredith even remembers saying that, but had to like stick by it. And then Monica was the one who said it. So Angie liked that video. And I know that's not a big deal, right? But the fact that she watched it and liked it, I don't think she follows me or anything. Like I don't see her liking my stuff a lot. So I'm thinking like, I wonder if Angie's real, because like you want to align with Mary. If you're Angie and you had to pick between being aligned with Mary or Whitney, I'm imagining she's going to pick Mary, right? And so I'm wondering if Angie, Mary, drop Whitney, friends with Lisa, and then next season we get a Whitney takedown season where they're all like, bitch, no, you did this, you did this, you did this. Because I used to like this about Whitney in that she's so bad at being messy. Like when she tries to tell Jen what Lisa and Meredith said at Coach Shaw's birthday, but she can't even get it out because she's so drunk. And then when she tells Meredith about them saying the Sprinter van thing and your dad's memorial was on a different day or whatever, like she's always too drunk and not delivering the lines right and like so bad at it. But this season, she's got like more of a seriousness to her and there's no like sense of humor behind it. And now it's just like, I actually think you do think that you are the one on a higher, more like on a moral high ground or spiritual high ground. And like, Whitney, you're not. Whitney, you're a mess, girl. So I would even like a Heather Whitney combo takedown season. Because I feel like Heather is going to get busted. Something's going to happen at the reunion. I don't know what exactly, but I'm so down. I really want Mary to drop Whitney because as Lisa says in the after show, Whitney is known for is lying and literally is making shit up for the cameras. And then you got Mary over here who's all about honesty, believing her and thinking I'm the bad guy. So my hope is that 2-hour conversation, Mary was like, oh, okay, I'm learning things. And then it's like, done with Whitney. And then Angie, because she definitely doesn't want to drop Mary. She doesn't have to drop Whitney, but I don't know. Her liking that TikTok, I was like, ooh, a little shift. I would love it. Anyway, this has been a long one. Oh, wait, I wanted to read something that Whitney said. Hold on. Because Whitney talked about in regards to the fight, how like her involvement in that fight. Whitney, when talking about like her involvement in all of these and all the dramas throughout the years, this is what she says. They're wanting to accuse me of things that they've all been documented saying and doing. I've just gotten caught up in the crosswinds. I have been involved in these situations, but I have never once started them. The only thing I've ever started has been with Lisa. Hello? And I take full accountability for it. I apologized. I owned it. And I've stopped doing the things that I knew upset her, like lying, like saying crazy shit on camera. But this season, I stand behind everything I said. I've not done anything besides call her a villain, which I stand by. And then the producers come in and show her going, this is on the phone with Adam. This is my business, my brand, and it's not just something that popped up. I feel like this was planted. And so they're like, no, you have come for her. 100% you've come for her. But I'm not apologizing because it's my truth. And if she doesn't like my truth, then like she can fuck right off. Okay. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you very, very much, darling. Anyways, all right. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to edit this, get it out to you. Sorry if this is going to be going up late. I know I'm looking at the time. I got a late start. I'm a little sluggish today, so there we go. But I love you guys so much. See those of you who join us for the live weekly wrap-up. We'll see you tomorrow. And love you, mean it. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms. Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.